If you were born after MTV already started, it's kind of hard to explain to you the cultural significance of what MTV was. It affected everything. It affected style, the way people dressed, the way people acted, the way people talked. It was involved in politics. It just literally changed everything. And the only thing that I could think to compare it to would be when the internet came out. And I know the internet is way more important than MTV and music videos, but just the effect that it had on society, the way it changed cultures, the way it changed fashion, and the way it also changed the way people listen to music. I know that there were some people that were probably more attracted to songs once they got to see who was singing it. They felt more of a connection, and if the person was more attractive, then they might have listened to music that they wouldn't normally listen to because they were watching the person on the video. And it was really fun to see, and to see these artists that I'd been listening to and never got to see what they look like. I would hear them on the radio, or maybe I had a tape and there was a picture or two of them in there. But I feel like with MTV, you really got to know the personality of the artists, and you really got to get more connected with them, and the things that they brought to the table, aside from the musical side of things, which you would have already loved because of, like I said, hearing them on the radio, hearing their records, tapes, etc. So today I'm going to talk about MTV's music videos. There started to become like this weird thing in the 80s where just being weird was kind of cool, and just being different. But the people that did it to fake it were easily recognizable. And the people that did it because this is just how they really feel, and this is how they really are, and this is what they really like, were also easy to recognize. I will say that Peter Gabriel has a couple very weird videos, and he has his lyrics in his songs are also very weird and original and different. And so his video for Sledgehammer is probably my third favorite video of all time. There's all types of weird. There's good weird, there's bad weird, and then there's just weird. And this video is weird in the best way. There was some claymation, there was a lot of spliced film and green screen. There was a train going around his head. He was blinking real fast for some reason. And there was a bunch of special effects that I have no idea how they even did. But the song is a banger. It's a head nodder. You can't not move when you hear that song. That drum beat is just driving, and the lyrics are just, you never know what he's gonna say next, and the lyrics are just totally out of left field. But it just works, and the aesthetic of the video is just perfect for it. And again, you can't wait to see what's gonna come next, and you have no idea what's gonna come next because everything is just things that you would never think of, and just things that you can't even imagine. And the producer of this video got together with Peter Gabriel, and they came up with an aesthetic and an image and a plot of imagery that they wanted to convey, and they conveyed it very, very well. And speaking of weird videos, this one had a little bit more of a tangible feel to the narrative. But Don't Come Around Here No More by Tom Petty. It's an obvious total homage to Alice in Wonderland, with Tom Petty brilliantly playing the role of the Mad Hatter. He doesn't overdo it. It's kind of subtle in his madness. He has the temperament of a psychotic Mad Hatter, but again, it's very low key. There's some great special effects and scenes. They do some really neat stuff with forced perspective and just kind of things that play tricks on the eye, weird camera angles. It really does feel like a vibe from like an Alice in Wonderland fever dream. It's interesting and cool and different. Again, Tom Petty's performance is amazing. It's very creepy. Everyone that is an actor in this video, it does feel like a movie. It has a movie quality to it. It's almost scary, and like I said, it's like a fever dream that kind of runs parallel with reality. And by dream, I mean nightmare. But still, one of the best videos ever made, and just a really fun one, especially if you're a fan of Alice in Wonderland and like kind of like Tim Burton and those types of movies. then I think you'll really like this video if you've never seen it. What You Need by NXS is another really cool video. Awesome animation in it. There's a lot of, I don't really know how to describe it other than to say kind of fast moving, crinkly paper, and the singer and the guitar, the band, they look like they're like crinkly paper at some points. I know that's not a great way to describe it, but it was very stylistically the 80s, very much so. And the animation and the art style is very specific to that time. And if you see the video, you'll know what I mean by the crinkly paper look. I don't even know how to describe what that is. And they use various shapes that harken to that time period. There's some leopard print, there's some blue and yellow triangles, and that reminds me of Swatch watches. And then the leopard print reminds me of something that you would see on the old MTV logos that would change. They would pop up in between videos, and it would be like a zebra print or a leopard print, and then there would be like a bright neon color. Just nothing screams 80s like that style of artwork, and a bunch of like flashing background stuff that you it's almost subliminal. And this is a video that you could watch 100 times and find something different every time. Not to mention the song is just perfect, and it fits so well and perfectly with the animation. It's just such a great combination, and that's really important, is the combination of the music and the video. They have to go together. If they don't go together, one will take away from the other. If they go together, it's like ketchup on your french fries, chocolate on your ice cream sundae. It's just perfect, and they complement each other so well. Chocolate to peanut butter. Video Killed the Radio Star is obviously the most important video that MTV ever played because it was the very first one. It's very artistic. It starts out with a young girl listening to an old radio, a radio that you would have seen in the 50s, and the singer is kind of singing to her. It is very almost clairvoyant the way it kind of is predicting what's going to happen, and yet it does kind of call back to the past. It has like a time travel feel to it, and it switches back and forth between some live footage, and then there's like a moon with water waving gently underneath it, kind of waving back and forth. And then it turns into some sort of laboratory scene with a bunch of keyboardists, and they're standing around. I guess they're kind of representing like scientists or doctors. It's very artistic. There's a lot of imagery in the video, and the scenes are almost poetic. It would be like scenes from a book. And it's probably why I had so many weird dreams when I was a kid, because a lot of these videos, now that I'm rewatching them and talking about them, they're super weird. And the parts don't even necessarily go together, but they do. Or maybe it's just because that's how I was programmed as a kid, and I saw these videos, so they kind of make sense to me, even though they really don't. But it's just cool the way they were able to pull everything together and form one overall arcing story. And sometimes it's real hodgepodge and the stuff doesn't really go together, but it's still cool to see anyway. 'Cause nothing compares to you. I gotta say that this video, and Sinead O'Connor herself is pretty much, or was pretty much, anti a lot of things back in the day. It's pretty poetic how this video came out, because I would say this video is the anti-video. It's the antithesis of everything that was going on at MTV, the flashiness, the fashion, the focus on money, the dancing girls. This video is exactly the opposite, and because of everything else that was going on at the time, it made this video so powerful. Again, the anti-video totally went against the grain. The song is pretty stripped down itself, and it's pretty intimate. And so it's a moment between you and the singer. The video creates that moment where you feel like it's just you and her. It's just a close-up of Sinead O'Connor's face, and it feels like she's singing to you. You can see every emotion on her face. There's no camera tricks. There's no claymation. There's no special effects. No green screen. Just her face. The background is black and she's wearing a black shirt. So it's just her face and those haunting eyes. You can not only hear, but you can now also see every emotion that she's feeling with every expression on her face. Again, it was the antithesis of everything that was happening at MTV at the time, and it was totally perfect. And her voice rips through the darkness like her face. An alabaster skin juxtaposed against the darkness and the black background and the black shirt. This video is perfect, and it stands up against all the other videos with all the other tricks and all the other money that was poured into all those other videos. This video is timeless. Speaking of timeless, Weird Al's one of my favorite dudes of all time, and his video for Eat It is probably the most underrated video, and Weird Al's genius is also very underrated. He is highly respected by some of the biggest names in the industry and has done authorized covers of many bands who considered it to be an honor to be spoofed on by him, including but not limited to Nirvana, Madonna, and not to mention the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. He was actually a huge fan of Weird Al, and he was one of the first people to say, I find it an honor to be spoofed by him, and he would go looking for Weird Al to do one of his songs. And I think that kind of opened the doors for Weird Al. When people saw that Michael Jackson gave him that legitimacy, they wanted to be spoofed as well. The video for Eat It is a spoof on Beat It, and it's hilarious. There's so many jokes and so many little nuances and so many things that if you know Weird Al's sense of humor, you get it instantly. If you don't, you might miss it. The style of humor is a lot like his movie UHF. It's that style of comedy in a music video. And I was a fat kid at the time, so I knew this song would be sung to me a lot at school, and I would hear people singing it to me. And they did, but I didn't care. I thought it was hilarious. Burning Down the House. A video that I could not watch anywhere near bedtime when I was a kid. This video is by the Talking Heads, and it is creepy in a way that you can't even describe. I mean, the part where it's just his face coming out of the darkness, and then it shows his face on the side of a house. It's just like a nightmare, a fever dream. It's just weird to me. And the band is playing, and they're all wearing white suits, and then they keep changing into like these different people. The singer turns into a little kid, and then those weird ghouls that keep popping up, they make them play their instruments in weird ways, and they sneak up behind them, and they're grabbing them, and they're wrestling with them, and they're fighting with them, and they're making them play their instruments, almost like they're puppets for them. And then it's just close up on people's faces, and they use video projectors to mix the faces together. This video is a total nightmare. I'm pretty sure, speaking of nightmares, I'm pretty sure that the video Rocket by Herbie Hancock would be considered avant-garde. I don't even know what avant-garde means, but I'm pretty sure that that's what it would be. It seems to present a dystopian robot meets machine meets human being future where the only people in the video are on television screens that the robots are watching, but they're not really watching. They're very aloof. And the humans are apparently there to entertain them. There are some mannequins who are pretty lifelike, but 100% soulless. And the song is pretty redundant. It's good, but it is redundant. And it kind of traps you in this weird headspace. And it just really presents a scary, bleak future. And as a little kid, this is what I thought the future was going to be. Like, I wonder why I was so messed up. I'm not sure exactly what kind of music Devo would be classified as. For the time, I used to hear people call it punk. I don't think it's punk. It's more probably new wave, but they're the type of band that didn't want to be labeled. But when it first came out, people weren't exactly sure what to call it. And the video lended itself to just that type of impossible to categorize style. The song is fun and catchy and upbeat, and the video is something like a 60s movie from Mexico, yet somehow had a cabin in Texas, and there were these dudes kind of playing the soundtrack to the movie live, and they're all wearing upside down flower pots on their heads. I thought for sure we were going to see a whole bunch of people wearing flower pots on their heads and that style was going to catch on. But luckily, that trend never caught. But the video is cool. And they kind of move like robots in it, which was a pretty big thing for videos in the 80s. People were very robotic in their movements. And I think everyone thought that's what the future was going to be like. But the video is cool and fun and a perfect video for if there was a time capsule, this would be a perfect video to put in for the early 80s. Mad Max was a hugely popular movie during this time. We were all pretty sure, again, that the world was going to run out of gas and oil by the year 1990. And certainly by the year 2000, everything was going to be a barren wasteland. We were also pretty much promised that there would be at least limited nuclear exchanges, if not an all-out total nuclear war. So a dystopian future was what we were promised. This video for Wild Boys seems to kind of hone in on that. And the reminds me of the movie Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome a lot. It's very dark. Everything looks overcast, like the sun can't shine through the haze of pollution that's now covering the earth. And then you have a band on TV, Duran Duran, performing a song. And then you have the singer of the band on a windmill that keeps taking him underwater. It's actually a very cool video. From the first note coming out of Sting's mouth as he pines, I want my MTV. The video for Money for Nothing was way ahead of its time. It starts out with the cartoon world, and he's watching the real world on TV. The 3D animation is very cool, very stylistic, and very specific to this video. And he gets sucked into the TV where the Dire Straits are performing and they're playing their instruments. Some of their instruments are neon and cartoon, and things look colorized. It's really awesome. Then you have the polygon animated guy at the warehouse watching the video, and that's really the story of the song. There's another video where the story of the song perfectly matches the story of the video. It has to be your top 5 of all time, and a hugely important, again, raising the bar and showing the different directions that videos could go in that time, and they could do anything. Sky was the limit in the 80s. Take on Me by the group Aha. This video was, there was already some pretty cool videos around, and they might have had some good stories and some good special effect, but this video took everything to another level. There was nothing quite like this. The video really raised the bar, and there were no shortcuts back then. There was no CGI. And they made a video about a guy that was inside of a comic book, coming out of the comic book, and bringing. He fell in love with a young lady at a restaurant and bringing her into his world, and then he went to her world. He literally reaches out of the comic book, but his hand is still cartoonish, and so his hand is coming from out of the comic book universe, I would say, into the real world, but it still looks like a comic book. It still looks like a cartoon. And that type of effect was not very prevalent back then. So it was really awesome to see it. It blew me away, and it blew a lot of people away. The effects were just amazing. It was pretty much all drawings. I think they did over 70,000 drawings for that video. And the way they blended the real world and the comic book aesthetic was just amazing. Then in the video, he's in love with this young lady, and they're getting chased by villains on motorcycles. But he comes back to her, and he literally comes from another dimension to be with the girl he loves. And that was a very popular theme for songs and videos back then. It was all about love during this era. And it was all about sacrifices that you had to make for love. Unfortunately, songs and videos don't really go like that anymore, but I wish we could get back to that. I think the world would be a better place. This is my favorite video of all time, and it should be everyone's. I think that the video took 2 years to complete because of all the work they had to put into it, and the filming and the drawings, and then marrying the film to the drawings to actual real world situations. It was incredible. The king of pop, the king of music, the king of dance came through with the king of all videos. He got an actual movie director who directed American Werewolf in London named John Landis. to direct a video and make what they both referred to as a mini movie, which I think is awesome. And the outcome was tremendous. And again, there was nothing like this at the time. This is my second favorite video ever. I love the horror aesthetic and the zombie dances and how the zombies move and have a real creepy, ghoulish feel to them. And they're kind of sloppy in their movements, but yet super precise at the same time. And the dance moves in this video are very hard to replicate. There's a couple things that they made easy so that people could do it and you would recognize it for what it was. Then you have the werewolf in the beginning and the special effects, and the special effects in this movie were just out of this world, especially for the time period. It did look like an actual movie, and actually the special effects were better than probably a lot of movies at that time. And the song is amazing. It's so catchy. It just stays stuck in your head. It tells a story. You just want to listen to the next part of the song to hear what he's going to say next. And you just want to watch the next part of the video to see what's going to happen next. This video is my second favorite video of all time. It's rated by some as the best video of all time. It's always in the top 5 of every list. It should definitely be number 2 at the least. I can definitely see it being number 1, although the Aha video is number 1 for me. But this video it's absolutely just amazing. There were so many awesome things happening in the 80s, so many exciting and new things. It truly was a great time to grow up.